Hey everybody, welcome back. California has announced they're going to shut down everything again. This has completely hurt so many people in the restaurant industry in the Bay Area, and especially undocumented because that's the industry they work the most and they don't qualify for any benefits. And the food bank lines were long last time, they'll be even longer this time. And there's a bit of tension I feel rising up in many people because the medical people said it was okay to protest. They encouraged people to protest, even well past the initial reasons why people were protesting. They started protesting for everything, gathering for anything, blocking roads, wrestling with cops. I mean, when Biden won, when they said he was in the lead, they started dancing and not social distancing. I witnessed it with my own eyes. And all these different instances where the BLM activists and the Antifa activists and all of them, the Biden and Harris voters, were out in the streets, not social distancing, spreading the virus, and now we can't work. Millions of people have lost their jobs because everyone tried to make excuses on why they're the ones who deserve to go and gather, while denying us the right to work, while harming millions because some criminals fought with cops and then, we all have to go jobless because of it. It's strange. The government's not coming. They're not coming, and they didn't come the first time. They're not going to come this time. They're still arguing. We got one stimulus check that was like $1,200. That barely covers 1 month's rent of a studio apartment in the Bay Area. It's very expensive to live here. And if you don't have money to pay the rent, you don't have money to move because when you go to rent a new apartment, you need first and last month's rent, right? Plus the cost of moving, right? Plus the cost of any property damage or anything else that your previous landlord wants to charge you with and such and such. And then you have to find a job, and who's going to find a job in this economy? I mean, it's pretty scary, and the crime is going to explode. It already is horrible here. There's so many gangbangers, pimps, and prostitutes here that cause so much problems. We already have problems with homelessness. And these liberals who say they care, right? They say, oh, we're better, we're Team Blue, we're so better and humane. I mean, if Republicans tell you you're on your own, Democrats will be like, we'll tax you to death and then leave you to die. They invited all of Latin America here, made it a sanctuary state, so it's very hard to deport certain people who deserve it. And now, when there's this plague that's hit twice, they have done nothing for that community. It's like the people in the California, these Democrats and these liberals and these progressives, they only care about Latinos when they're at the border and they can gain some points against the Republicans. But I haven't seen any of these liberals come and like do massive works of charity. All these rich, elite liberals who write on Twitter all day, they could literally go into a restaurant and just give gift cards to people to like the grocery store. Something. You can go out and give some money, do something for these people. We know you can tell who's really getting close to destitution. But I mean, these liberals in California walk past homeless people all day while they're wearing their expensive clothes and their newest phone. And it's like they walk past the homelessness before the pandemic, during the first round, and I'm predicting they'll do it again for the second. So that's why I really laugh when people think if you're Team Blue, you're Team Democrat, you're a liberal, you're automatically more loving and ethical. Gavin Newsom owns a restaurant, The Bungalow in Mill Valley, and he shut us down. He knows that December is the Christmas season. That's when people will tip more. That's when people will give more money. And January and February is the slowest because of the cold rain weather. And that was already going to be bad when they allowed outdoor dining because people were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on building outdoor tents and getting propane tanks for the heaters. And now those businesses spent all that money, and then Gavin Newsom shuts them down anyways. My thing is, we spend all this money for the military. Why can't we call in the medical units to help us so we can keep our economy floating and build temporary hospitals everywhere with keeping people going to work? Because how can they shut us down without having the money already in our accounts? There's not enough protections for evictions, and even landlords, they have to pay somebody who has to pay somebody who has to pay somebody, right? And Nancy Pelosi and all these Democrats are playing footballs like they're playing games, political points with each other while we're people on both sides are like we're literally on the Titanic. We've crashed into the economic iceberg. People are failing. What are we going to do? Because Nancy Pelosi and these people, they're still going to suck off our tax dollars and make money while we can't go to work. So if you can't go to work, you also have to thank an Antifa and a Black Lives Matter protester because they've been out doing that stuff and it's a shame. For every reason beyond Floyd, they kept going. Antifa has been rioting in Portland for a while. There's these pockets where these people keep holding these protests, these gatherings, but they get mad at people if they want to go to church or if they visited their family on Thanksgiving. But the way the media has been covering the protests and the riots and the looting and burning, it's like there's very disoriented coverage because now it was far beyond the initial cause, right? Why does someone have a right to loot, to burn, and protest if I can't earn a living to pay my bills? Kids have to eat. It's no one's fault that people are struggling, right? Your each financial situation is your own, but you're denying us the right to work, to leave our homes. This is something that's very sad to me. How we're the land of the free. And people, when you want to work, they say, oh, we care about old people not dying. Well, what was that sentiment when there was mass protests or when there was a transsexual rally, right? The trans rally. They have all these celebrations. I mean, the March on Washington, the Women's March, they went for that. They kept gathering. But we can't work. I don't get it. It's like these people here are very insane to me. Either you care about it or you don't. And 1 minute they say it affects it. Like if it's a Trump rally, they say it spreads the virus. But if it's a Biden gathering or an Antifa riot or a protest for Black Lives Matter, that's permissible and it doesn't spread the virus because it's outdoors. Well, if that's the case, why can't restaurants have outdoor dining? They said the ICU is getting filled. Can't you call in? What is the medical sector doing? The supply chains are breaking down. The people who can't sell their milk to restaurants are going to have to dump it. There's not even a system for getting that food to people who need it during this pandemic. If you watch the previous videos, potato farmers were leaving their crops in the field. Food lines were out the door. The politicians have been talking about Trump all day instead of doing their jobs. And it's almost like no one realizes this or even cares. It's all about Trump, Trump, Trump. And no one, like in California, it's like they think they're winning because they're talking smack about Trump, but all around them is collapse. But they feel like these journalists in their high towers, writing from their homes, eating takeout, watching Netflix, they don't work on the ground like us, and they're advocating for shutdowns. They say, oh, we care about Latinos. Why aren't you fighting them to keep the restaurants open? They were already at less than 50% capacity. They went down to 25% capacity. Now they're fully shut. It's really scary because we're going to feel the consequences of that. Why can't we utilize our military's medical units to help us? They tax us to death. They go overseas to kill people. Why can't we use them to keep us alive? This doesn't make sense to me. Are we all going to be living in tents outside in the street? I mean, this seems like it's a death blow. The medical sector has to step it up so people can get to work. I know that there's a lot of lazy people in California. They enjoy welfare. They enjoy living off the system. They want communism. They want to stay home, watch TV, be fat and lazy, and collect a check and have an easy life. Some of us enjoy working. I never thought I would say that, but it's not healthy to be locked in your home all the time. It's different when it's your choice. More and more different when the government is forcing you while your savings dwindle. Like if you go to work and you go home and you stay home, that's different. You're being smart. You're saving. You're being prudent. You're being smart, financially savvy. But when you tell people, stay home, watch your savings dwindle, we're not going to help you. If you go outside, we will get a ticket from a police officer. Oh, and by the way, you're restricting your gun rights. We're defunding the police. And we're also going to make it so you have to just deal with protests and riots. While your kid becomes depressed because they're on Zoom and not meeting any kids. This world is upside down. What do you guys think? I don't know what to do. It's just so depressing. I had to tell so many people who were undocumented where they can go in the food bank lines, what time they have to be there. I mean, all these bleeding heart liberals who say that they're so humane and they talk all day about immigrants. and refugees. Where are they at now? Where are they at now? I don't see it. And they say, oh, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it isn't happening. I'm literally right here in the center of where the most undocumented are, and you don't see it and you don't hear it, and I'm in the culinary world and you can hear the freaking out. Why can't these rich liberals and these celebrities go around and pay rents of these people they claim to care about? So Republicans deny you at the border, but Democrats let you in and then leave you to die. Which is worse? Telling someone at the door, you're on your own, buddy. You can come in and survive, or you can go back to where you came from and hold your own government accountable for their failures. Which is better? To be honest in the beginning, or to say, oh, I love you. Oh, red team bad, blue team good. Oh, come in, come in, come in. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, we won't check your record. No, just come in, come in. And then when they get here and there's 2 shutdowns, oh, have fun standing in the food line. I'll call you when I need you to clean my house again, or when I need landscaping, or when my favorite cafe can't open anymore, maybe. Bye. Which is worse?